Guys, I'm so sad this evening, and it is just because of the recent flood that is happening in most cities in Ghana, especially in Accra and Kumasi. From 2 days ago, it rained for 3 consecutive hours in Accra, and you wouldn't believe what happened. Most parts of Accra, especially in Medina, Adenta, and other major parts of Accra, got flooded. So flooded to the extent that people's bedrooms were filled with water. And this is not just a first time thing, it is something that has been happening. It has become like a yearly thing, just like how we celebrate festivals and events yearly. Flooding has like formed part of our calendar. How should I even put it? Because it's something that happens every year. And the question I'm asking is that are there no precautionary measures we can put in place to make sure that this thing stop? It is when something happens once, okay, we assume maybe it's a mistake. When it happens twice, we can still assume that maybe it's a mistake. But like something that keeps happening, and there are professors in this country, they are doctors, they are intelligent and serious people in the country. My problem is that can they figure out a way to curb, if not totally eradicating this situation? Is there a way they can curb it? So what I'm seeing right now is that like it keeps on escalating every now and then. When it rains now, there's problem everywhere. Flooding, people, houses collapsing, and a whole lot. This evening, I just want to pose the question: is it something we are doing wrong as citizens, or is it the government that is not putting some measures in place? I'll answer that myself. It is both sides. We the citizens we have a lot of problem when it comes to sanitation. We litter anyhow, and sometimes it's so crazy. It will be raining and you see someone who carried rubbish to go and put in a gutter. And the question you sometimes ask yourself is the person head working? You know that this will definitely go and chop somewhere, and it will still result in flood, which will probably affect you. But after the time of like throwing that rubbish, I think those people don't think, they think maybe the effect will not, it will happen though, but maybe it will probably not happen to them. And that is what have resulted into some of these things. As citizens, we should take responsibility of our environment. If you see someone doing that, don't be afraid, just speak up. Oh, approach the person. What you are doing, these are some of the consequences that might bring. And if the person refuses, I think reporting the person to the right authorities may get some sanctions for the person and that kind of thing. And on the side of the government too, the government have a lot of power to like stop this thing. For me, in my opinion, I think they should ban the use of like plastic bags and those basic plastic bottles. And if they will not even ban it completely, they should minimize it, because if you buy something like maybe a drink like this, like they'll put it in a polythene bag for you. The next thing you go buy a biscuit, they'll put it in a polythene bag for you. And at the end of it all, the question is, where are all these plenty plastics going? They are ending up in our gutters, and they will choke them and make our environment so filthy. The thing is that the rubbish has become plenty in the system, to the extent that even though recycling companies are trying their best by using the pure water rubbers to make other things, but it's still enough. Like there are a lot of garbage in our communities, and I think it's time we reduce them by the government putting restriction on the production of those rubber bags. I think it will go a whole lot to help us. Could it also be because there's general poor waste management in Ghana? Sometimes, like you don't feel like dumping on the floor, but sometimes you hold it you don't get any dustbin to put it inside, so you are compelled to just throw it. Sometimes my bag is always like full of rubbish because I don't want to throw it, and I don't also see any dustbin to put it inside. And it's not anybody that will agree and put it in his or her bag. So if the person check around and there's no dustbin, I think the person just trash it. And it has become like a normal thing. People just trash it anyhow. And the government should also make sure that their dustbins at vantage points, or kind of like maybe like every 200 meters or 300 meters, there should be like some dustbin, so that when you are done eating something or using a plastic, you can just trash it there. But if you look at our street, even on our main street, there are no dustbins anywhere. And sometimes you are compelled to throw it because you don't know where to keep it. Somebody like me, I try to put it in my bag. Not anyone will agree and do that. So the government should try and make sure that these measures are kept in place. And when the dustbin is full, to please, the right people should come and pick it up, because one of the reasons why people also pour rubbish in gutters is because sometimes the thing is full and then like for a week, no, the abuboya is not coming for it. I think like waste management is just poor in Ghana as a whole, and they have to look into it. If not, every year we keep spending millions of Ghanaian cedi in things like this, and still now the problem will still be there. Right now that the flood just occurred, very soon you see people coming out to appeal that oh their properties are lost and then they need government intervention and kind of that. And these are our monies going, and these are our monies going waste every year. Structures will be damaged, businesses will be shut down, and we will keep on losing money every time. But if we try to invest money in solving it by putting the right measures, as I said earlier, on providing dustbins at vantage points, and also investing in recycling companies so that they can recycle most of these plastics. And again, they should also try to ban or minimize the use of plastics in the country. I think it will go a whole long way to help us. The government should also try and prevent people from building on waterways. And this goes to the land commissioners. I don't know the rightful authority in charge of this, but they should try as much as possible not to sell lands that are like waterways. Okay. They should try their best to sell lands that are not on waterways, because you know that in as much as you need this money, there's going to create a major problem somewhere. Because if you build on the waterway, now the water don't have a path to flow. It will flood your house. And if you are buying a land as an individual, to please make sure that you get surveyors to check it before you buy. If you feel like the land is so cheap or is near to town or is in a developed area, and for that matter you are in need of it so badly, and you rush or you rush to buy it, you find yourself in trouble, because remember you are on a waterway. It's a collective problem, and I'm sure we can all solve it collectively. You have a role to play, I have a role to play, the government have a role to play. If one part is playing a role and the other is not playing, still now the problem will still persist. So let's make sure that as citizens we take responsibility of our environment, making sure that we prevent some occurrences like this so that we can all live in peace and harmony. Thank you so much for watching up to this point. If you want to always stay informed and stay inspired, this is the right place to subscribe to, and please make sure you click on the notification button so that anytime we drop a new video, you'll always be the first to receive it. And do please try and leave us with a comment of how you think citizens can take responsibility of their environment in preventing such things as this. Bye for now.